Hi guys, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm working on this heart-shaped panel. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to show you guys. I was so excited to start working on this one. I've had this heart panel in my panel collection for about a year now, and I love all of the imagery around Valentine's Day. It took me many years to realize how much I loved it, but I love hearts, I love pink, and I love red. And I really love it when I can mix it with something a little bit more dark and spooky. I love that. I love it. So this heart panel has been just calling to me, and it was finally time to get to it. So let's just hang out. Let's chat about some art stuff. I'm making changes for my art practice and how I'm creating my artwork. So it will tell you what I did to create this painting so that I can remember, we can talk about things. I can talk about some of the things that I want to learn. So let's get to it. So to begin this painting, I actually took a picture of it first, and then I put it into Photoshop so that I could do a more complex sketch of it, but one that was perfectly designed for the actual shape of the panel. I like to do that when I'm working on these more uniquely shaped panels. I just take a picture, I take it in, I sketch on it, and then when it's time to print it, I just make sure that I measure it correctly so that it's pretty close to real size, and then I can just print it off and transfer it. So to start off with, because the panel is raw, so essentially it's just the wood underneath, I used clear gesso to seal it. So I applied it, and then I sanded it smooth, and then I applied it again, and then I forgot to sand it smooth, and then I painted it. So that was first mistake, is that I need to treat my panels better at the beginning when I'm getting it all prepped and ready to be painted. I need to do more layers of gesso, and I also need to make sure that I sand it really smooth. So that was a mistake. But by the time I noticed, I had already applied enough paint that I wasn't going to sand it again, so I just left it. But yeah, that's a lesson that I have been very slowly coming to, is that, yeah, I need to treat that preliminary stage a little bit with more care. I just tend to be a little bit impatient when it comes time to actually start painting. I'm just really excited, and I just kind of jump into it. So today I'm using mostly acrylic gouache from Holbein. Yes, that sounds right. So it's just a really matte, essentially it's a matte acrylic, and I love it. This is kind of the direction I'm finding myself being pulled to. I love that it allows me to work both dark and light. So essentially I can move in both directions along the value scale as I'm painting it. It just feels so much more dynamic and interesting and exciting than where I was at with watercolors. So I've been really, really enjoying that. I've been really craving it. And I love oils. They're always going to be my goal medium, but for a lot of reasons, and I've talked about it plenty, but there's a lot of reasons why it's just not quite like happening. But the acrylic gouache is just, it's happening. It gets done at the speed that I'm wanting to work on it. So it dries instantly, essentially instantly, so I can immediately start working on the next layer. It's just, I do find that it fits better with my way of working as an artist that I've already built. And right now that's what I need. I need art that I can just make it work, but I'm still really excited and I'm still learning a lot from it. So anyways, I think that this is going to be kind of my bread and butter for at least a year, at least. This painting is titled Heart Pain, and she is looking for a new home. So there is a link down in the description that'll take you to my art shop if you'd like to buy her and put her on your own wall. So again, there's a link in the description that'll take you over to her listing. I've actually found that I think one of the big things that makes painting with these paints so much more enjoyable than in the past when I've tried to do acrylic, and to be fair, this was a long time ago. It was probably in high school, but one of the big things is I have so many convenience colors now. So over the years, I've collected a lot of different colors within this line, since I used to use them for the line work. So I have a lot of them already. And it's just so much easier to get into painting it when I already have a color that's pretty close to what I'm looking for, and it can take a little bit of tweaking. It makes it much easier to color match when it comes time to color matching, when I come back at a different session and I just have a couple of tubes of paint that are the core, and then I can just tweak those two together. it just goes so much easier, and I enjoy it so much more, as opposed to when I, in the past, have tried to do acrylic. I hated mixing every color from scratch because it took so long. And at the time, and honestly still now, I'm not particularly good at color matching. So it was a lot of fussing, a lot of wasted paint, and yeah, having more tubes that have more granularity in the colors, it's working for me in a way that I need and I really like. So that's been fun. And it is really fun too that it's just, I had them by nature of using them in a different application. So now that it's time that I'm getting interested in using these in a more complete way, that I have all of these paints that I can use and play with. So over the years with these, I've sort of developed an understanding of how much water I can mix into the paint to get the viscosity that I want. But that's a little bit more specific for creating lines that are really smooth. So I'm learning it a little bit differently, but yes, that's one of the key things that I'm learning is how much water I can mix into the paint to get it to feel as smooth and easy to lay down as I want, but not so that it breaks down the quality of the paint. And I find that I'm learning more and more about the opacity of different pigments and paints that are in the lines that I do have. I found that the whites that I am using, some of the whites that I'm using, or some of the lighter colors, are actually pretty transparent. And I think most of my warms are pretty transparent. So it's just me understanding those a little bit better so that I know how I can layer them better, so that I can get the results and the color payoff that I want a little bit better. So yeah, that's just part of understanding the paints that we all have, that we each have, and then understanding their qualities. And the more we understand our own tools and supplies, the better we can get into the flow of things and get the results that we want. So for this piece, I tried to keep the color palette very restricted, honestly. I found that usually when I go really wild with the colors, I add too many different colors, I'm usually less happy with those pieces. So I wanted to just really dial this one in and focus on the mood and the atmosphere that I was trying to achieve. And I knew that I wanted that to come from the environment that the character was in. So I wanted her to be laying on these red satin sheets. So I put all of the color impact into the background, and then she had all of the contrasts. So the difference in values was mostly in her clothes and her skin and her hair with the background, so that way she could have contrast, but the background had that interest of this really bright, saturated, punchy red. So there is something that I really want to experiment and explore when it comes to acrylic gouache. I'm actually working on a piece that I'm about to get to the exploratory stage with this premise, but I would really like to explore using oils on top of acrylic gouache. So a lot of artists will use traditional acrylics for base layers with their oil paintings. They dry really fast. It allows them to really quickly get things placed, and then it's dry, and then they can get into the oils. But acrylic gouache is essentially acrylic paint. It's just matte. So I think by theory, it should be able to adhere really well to it. I think I should be able to get results that I want, that I am looking for. I don't know. I'm going to explore it. I'm really excited. I've done this really tiny test panel with the mediums, and it looks really good. So that's the next, I think that's the next level up. The next step is that I would like to explore doing a main painting with acrylic gouache. It dries basically instantly. I can form these paintings in a speed that I'm wanting and hungering for, and then I could move on to oils to do things like better skin blending, or to add very subtle color shifts, like these really soft blends that I would not be able to do with the acrylic gouache. So I'm really excited for that. I actually think that could be the ideal marriage between the two mediums for me. So I don't know. Stay tuned for that. I will be putting up a video soon of me testing that out and trying it and see what I think of the process. And as I got to the end of this painting, that's when this one really just came to life. I feel like that's the case with most of my paintings, that it feels like there's just not quite that like spark of interest until I get to the end, and then I add in those last little details that just makes different things come to life, and then the whole piece just feels special, I guess. It might be a way to say it. So for this one, I think the big thing that really just put it over the edge for me for enjoying it was adding this like really saturated highlight on the satin in the background. So I had this, I think it's called Luminous Red from the same line, and it's just such a neon red. It is so pretty and vibrant. So I used that again for this really sharp, stark satin highlight, and it made the background pop. It helped direct the eye back to the character in the way that I placed the highlights. I loved it. I loved how it all came together once I added that. And I think the last thing was the highlight in the eye, as far as the last thing that like just finished it off. I had painted the white of her eye pretty dark, so I wanted it to feel shadowy. So when I added that final contrast of that highlight in it, it made her eye look really glossy and potentially like she had the emotion that I was looking for. I wanted her to look sad. And then that just gave it that teary-eyed look. And then I added a tear even dripping from her eye. That was one of my favorite details to paint in. It's really subtle. So it's one of those things that you have to be kind of close to the panel to see it well. But once you do see it, it just finishes the story off. I loved working on this painting. I loved working on the heart panel. I loved this imagery. It was a fun painting overall. And don't forget, Heart Paint is looking for a new home. So there's that link in the description to take you over to the shop listing that'll have her. And yeah, that's it for today. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while we chatted about art and ideas. I can't wait to show you more of what I'm working on. That next experimental painting video will be up soon. So yeah, stay tuned if you'd like to hang out to do more art stuff together. And I'll see you then.